In addition to regular alignments that define a baseline, we can also have alignments that are associated to that baseline that are offset. And so we're going to look at creating offset alignments in this exercise. I'm going to go ahead and open up our align offset exercise. We have the geometry or the alignment that we've been working on throughout this chapter. And if I select that alignment, notice in the Launchpad panel of the contextual ribbon, we can create offset alignments. So I go ahead and do that. It says alignment to offset. These are going to be alignments that are created. So they're called offset alignments. So of course they're Civil 3D objects that must be named. The length of the alignment to offset. How many to offset to the left or to the right. The distance in the direction to offset. And then, of course, what label to apply, or alignment style, and then label set. Since these really represent the edge of the road, I don't want to apply any labels to them. So we're going to choose a label set that has no labels added at all. Go ahead and click OK. And notice the new alignments added in the drawing. Now, the power of offset alignments really is shown when we begin to add widenings. So I'm going to select the right side offset alignment, and notice there's a little plus sign, one of the grips that we have. This grip allows us to change the width that's offset, the distance, from 12 to something greater or less. But we're going to go ahead and click the Add Widening. And it adds another offset, so to speak, built in. It's when we go from one lane to two lanes, or we can have a bus turnout or something added, and it's all dynamic to the parent baseline. Now, obviously, this doesn't look exactly the way we want it to. So we can use the grips to slide the location of that widening. We can change the width of the widening. So I can go ahead and pick this grip, and we can type a number in, something like 25. And then here's where we have the taper. And so I can pick on the middle grip, and then the transition grips come up, and we can actually set a taper. Now, all of these different things we can do with grips, but oftentimes it's so much easier to do it in the offset parameters. So what am I in? I have a contextual ribbon for the offset alignment, modify panel, choose offset parameters. It opens up and asks us some information such as how do you want to do a transition? We can do a linear transition, which is the standard and probably easiest to build, but you can get fancier with your design, having curve, then line, then curve, and so on. So we're going to stick with linear. Our transition length is going to be 50 feet. Our offset is only going to be 24. Now the offset here is coming from the baseline. So we've gone 12 to our first lane, another 12 to our second lane. And so we have these different information here that we can adjust as well and change the location as graphically by gripping these as well. So we can change the start station of the widening and even the length of the widening throughout. Go ahead and click OK. Now that looks like we're adding a right turn lane. Again, all of these items are dynamically linked to the parent. So if I grip edit the parent, notice that the offset alignments follow. So a very powerful way to create some of the geometry. Now there are some drawbacks to it as well versus just regular AutoCAD line work, but very powerful in its dynamic nature. And did you notice in the alignment properties the ability to have additional settings as well? All of these different alignments have alignment properties, including masking, which allows us to create a trim-like look in certain situations, as well as other settings. So make sure you take advantage of the alignment properties for the baseline. I hit escape, but there's also alignment properties that will be different for our offset alignment, such as offset parameters that we have as well. A lot of power here in very simple geometry, the simplest really within Civil 3D.